Hey y'all and welcome. You're seeing absolute bare face because today we're gonna do a look. I get asked plenty of times, like, oh, what do you do? What do you use? What do you? I'm like, okay, well, let's just sum this up. We will make a video and see where it goes. Bare face, bare face. So far, I've started with wash, and I use the Kylie face wash. I also toned with, old school. But let's get started. We'll start with some moisturizer. First things first, aloe. Always. I use aloe on my face. I use it in my hair, which is why it just keeps growing and growing and growing. But I use this as my base to kind of lock in the moisture. It doesn't take much, although my the product that I use dispenses a lot, but that's okay because it never goes to waste. I just start by applying this all over, yes, including my brows, because I have a lot of dry skin, and so I tend to get like, dry patches here in my eyebrows. That's why they're so sparse. I get them right at my hairline, and that's okay for me to put the aloe up there because it's good for my hair too. Make sure you get all the way around your face. I get dry patches on my nose. I do not put it on my lips. Just the skin around, and make sure to get my nose really good because those dry patches. I get them here, all the way underneath. And last but certainly not least, the neck. I am 35, and I don't want my neck to make me look any older than I actually am. Just for me, which you don't have to do, I also moisturize my ears because alas, I get dry there too. Thanks, allergies. Anyway, I let that kind of sink in. Brushing up on the skin, of course, because, that's what keeps everything kind of in place, ready to go. And I can kind of just feel that setting in. I haven't really been good with my skincare, as you can see. It's the pandemic. I'm not going anywhere. No excuses. Gotta get better. Gotta get better. You have to have a routine if you want nice skin, clear skin, smooth skin, all that. I don't have it, and I'm telling you why. Gotta follow your own process. But anyway, moving on. So after the aloe, I guess it just depends on how I'm feeling that day, depending on what kind of moisturizer I'm using. But first, before we do that, I found this. It's, I don't know if you could see it, the Tula skincare. This is for your under eye. Now, I don't know about you. I have a 10-year-old and a little doggy, full-time job. We're all at home. And, kind of keeping up with everybody leaves me not getting as much sleep as I would, typically like to. But, trying to be a mom, teacher, housekeeper, animal trainer, all of that. You name it, that's what we do. But with this, I've seen a difference, of course, when used during a skincare routine, a difference where it just kind of brightens. I can feel it. It's cooling, so I can feel that underneath my eye, and I like to just kind of get that concentrated there. And then, of course, on this area right here. The eyes are the same thing. I learned this tip from my friend. You do not want to, pull away from your from the center of your eye outward. You want to go in. The reason being is because this area right here, which is typically where you get crow's feet and all that, when you're pulling outward, it just pinches that skin right there. So you don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. Okay, moving on. I think because we're just doing kind of a light face and this isn't my bedtime routine, I'm going to go with a layer of moisture that's not gonna be too thick. Not too thick. So I have this peach jelly. It's a soothing gel. It's good for your face. It's good for your skin. It's basically for when you have, it's to refresh stressed skin, which I'm not gonna lie about my situation. You know, I work in the public sector, and there are just certain days where you're like, cool, I got this. You go in with your warrior game face. That's typically Monday, Tuesday. And by Thursday, you're like, nope, I'm done. Not doing this. Not doing this. This peach jelly, let me tell you, no matter what's going on in here, girl, this skin needs that refresher, that break, that stress. And it gives me that extra, you know, that moisture, that kick. It smells so good. So good. But as you can see, you're starting to see kind of that build of moisture. So, yay. All right. Lastly, before I go on to, you know, the priming part, I like to give my face a nice spritz. And I'm going to butcher the name, but is what it is. Okay. I use the Caudalie. Sorry again. This is eau de raisin. It's grape water. It's supposed to soothe, moisturize, and of course, grapes, antioxidants, full of them. So here we go. And who doesn't love a good mist, you know? It's super refreshing. So while I am letting this kind of set and do its thing, I guess the reason why I just decided to up and make this video is because why not? Why not? You know, there's a lot of, you know, beauty gurus out there. Everybody's kind of showing you what to do, and oh, it's got to be prim, proper, perfect. And, you know, they work really, really hard at their craft, not knocking them. But if you just need to see somebody who looks like you, somebody who, you know, I'm a single parent. I don't usually take a whole lot of time for myself because I'm busy doing, you know, this, that, and the other. It's a pandemic, so now I'm a teacher. I have more time to spend with my dog, which I think is probably benefiting me more than her. I'm sure she's ready to get me out of her hair. But yeah, there's a lot more to keep up with now that I'm, you know, like, instead of ripping and running, going to work, working downtown, you know, going to get my daughter, spending that time, you know, making family meals and doing all that stuff, which now I am doing, but I'm doing instead of like the quick fix, the go, let's move. Now, when I'm kind of centered and in my space, it's like, wow, I'm going to keep up with everything because it's all in eyesight. It's all in eyesight. So now that, you know, we're home and I have time to, instead of like, well, grab this because we got to get breakfast and going, pack this in your lunch. I am, you know, I am making breakfast. I am making lunch. I am making dinner. We're not doing, you know, eating out and grabbing quick fixes. And it's a lot. And so trying to squeeze in these moments where I can just feel like my natural self, you know, I'm used to being like, oh, miss snatched, get your face together, get your hair together, all of that, you know, it's like that I have to pencil my own self in because I'm so much busier now that I'm home based, and I don't have the distraction of being out of my home. And at the office, we are, you know, in the space using it constantly over and over again. So I think we're just about getting there. Gosh, my face feels so good. It feels so good. It's just, it's cool. I'm refreshed. You always want to get that layer of moisture down, because even if, you know, you get your routine going, you're using your primer and all of that, having that extra layer helps to keep your skin healthy. I mean, if the only advantage is that you're not having like, you know, dry flakes of makeup coming, coming off, or like people being able to see like dry patches. Because like I said, my brows, my nose, my everything gets really dry. So I personally have to add that extra attention to the moisture. Okay, so now this is the part where everybody does their, we all kind of break off into, well, you should do this, or you should do this, you should do this. Start with your brows, start with your eyes, start with this, start with that. I'm just going to show you what I do. From here, from my little base face, like to go right into my brow routine, then my eyes, and then I do the primer and the rest of my face. The reason being is because, girl, look, I am not perfect. I get in there and I do what I can do, but I have to have that opportunity to kind of clean it up. And let me tell you, foundation and concealer covers like 99.9% of the sins that happen in this here region. So let's start with the brows. Give me just a second. I'm gonna grab my stuff. Now, they do have brow priming solutions. I have through Benefit. It's the brow conditioning primer. I don't know if I can say that. Anyway, trust me, it's by Benefit. It's a brow primer. And this basically, once the cap comes off, it's kind of like a little, I don't know if you would call it like a squeegee, but it's got a rubbery like little tip here. You could see, pardon the brow gunk anyway. But you turn the bottom. Do you hear that click? And then, once you get it to okay, there you go. It's got a little solution there. And again, I apologize for the gunk because mine is gunky. I just take it, click, and I work this across my brows, and then I go back in through it with my spoolie. There you go. And just brush it through. Lay that nice like foundation, because when you go in, girl, I need a trim. But once you get this, because you want your brows to have some semblance of shape and togetherness. I tell people all the time, my brows like to act, I want them to look like twins. I want them to look like twin sisters. My brows tend to act like step cousins. And, it is what it is. I do my best. I absolutely do my best. But we'll get back in here. We'll brush through. Okay. Okay, we're good to go. Okay. Next thing that we're going to do, I don't know how everybody, I don't know what your brows are looking like, but I'm gonna show you off of mine. Mine, she's cute. I like her. I like her natural self, but when I do a face, I want life. I want volume. I want more than what she's serving. And in this case, where you can see my brows are like straight across, they got a cute little curve, which is great. It's great for where we're going. But for starting off, for starting points, that's not what we're trying to do. So, next thing, I use my Brow Wiz Anastasia, and I mark off how we're going to be shaping this brow. Now, I got this trick from one of the Anastasia specialists. It's the way that they shape it. They call it the golden rule, something like that. I'm sorry if I mess that up. But anyway, of how you should shape your brows. And for me, I have to shape mine kind of going downwards at a slant to give it that nice arch, but you'll see how we do this. So first things first, at the side of your nose, just put your little pencil, and you want to make a mark that's above your brow. So I just kind of get that. I don't know if you can even see that, but anyway, get that little mark going here. And then I do this one. It's supposed to go kind of halfway across the nostril, but you want to make that line. You can't really see it, but across the center of your iris. And that is going to denote where your arch is supposed to be. As you can see, mine is pretty much in place. It's a little bit longer than my natural shape here, but we'll get it together. We'll get it together. Last thing is at the edge of your nostril here and at the corner of your eye is where your brow, oh Lord have mercy, Jesus, is where your brow should end. So, and get your mark. Good to go. I'm just going to repeat on this side just so we have a little bit of framework here, y'all. And halfway, boom. And then corner of my eye. Yeah, my brows, you know, technically, I guess, kind of end where they're supposed to. And you'll see as I put mine on, sometimes I cheat, okay? Sometimes I cheat. Sometimes I want a longer, I just, you know, I'm particular. I am particular about the shape. So anyway, now that we have our marks, this is where we're going to be starting now with this. And it's a little bit hard for me to do on camera because I'm used to just being in my mirror. Like I said, I start down a little bit and carry this up into where the line should actually be. So you can see where it's starting to go boop up like it's supposed to. And then for this one, I just follow because, you know, sometimes I'm already plucked, sometimes I'm not. But for this one, I just like to follow kind of what's already there to the place where it's supposed to end. And now the top isn't as difficult because I can still kind of follow along with what I have there. The only thing is just carrying it all the way out to that midpoint and then dropping it down to meet that edge. And you can see, like I said, where it's a little bit extended, but that's all a part of the cleanup game. You can clean that up, no big deal. So now, for this part here, because you could see where my eyebrows are a little sparse, I don't like to put the brow gel there per se. This, I like to create my own little brow lines here. So I just, you know, I kind of fill that in because by the time we go back in and we do the cleanup and we do all the rest of the makeup, go over it with the spoolie, all of that, this tends to kind of thin out anyway. So I don't want a whole lot of harsh marks. Like the most you're going to see are like those little brush hairs. So anyway, other side, here we go. This one's going to be special because this is not my favorite side. But I kind of use, you know, I can see where this is going over here. And then I take that starting at my start point and brush it up into the line, over, follow this line, and down. Again, a little longer. Girl, we gonna get it together. And again, same thing. I can see where this one's starting. I come all the way over. And you can see how having those guidelines helps. Because now I'm not having to like second guess like, girl, is your twin doing okay over there? Is she all right? No, I can see it. Now this one, girl, is a little bit rough. It's a little rough. it's a little rough. But there's nothing that during that cleanup process that we can't fix. Because listen, there are people who are going to get it right the first time. They're going to get it straight. They're going to get everything looking cute, perfect, whatever. And then you're going to get me and it's going to be like, woohoo! Listen. If at first you don't succeed, you try again. So, we're going to go back. Take it all the way to that point and drop it like it's hot. Or let it down like it's lukewarm, whatever your preference. Okay. Now, same thing. We're going to go back in here once I fix this little doohickey here. Okay. And then this is where I like to draw my lines. This side of my brow is extremely sparse. So I just, I do what I can. All right. So we have a framework. And as you can see, I still have some patches. Girl, that's just me. I got a little sparse brow. If yours are fuller in here, you're not going to have to do much more than you could lightly brush some brow gel through there. But for me, and for the type of definition I like, I go in with a gel. So I use the Dip Brow. That's what it looks like here. I don't want to expose too much because the number one issue with this, if you're not, you don't want to leave the cap off too long, because for it to glide, for this to kind of be that nice malleable gel that it needs to be, you need to move quickly. So what I do, and this tip again I got from one of the brow specialists, I take a little bit of the product on my brush, you could see, and I brush it on the lid. So now I've got something to work with and I don't have to dip back in. So I brush all that on the lid, and then I take some kind of on my brush there, and I follow the shape of what I have. And as you can see, it's a little thick, sis. That's all right. That's all right. And I just kind of brush that on. Now, when I get closer towards the center, that's where I stop, because again, I like, this used to be that, well, my rendition of the Instabrow, where it kind of has that fade in the front, that area right here. So listen, that's not half bad. By the time I clean this thing up, we're going to be good as gold. I do like to go back in just so I can, really bring in that definition that I want. And then, like I said, cleanup game, go be on point. Okay. So now on to the next brow. Same thing. Yeah, I am super duper sparse right there. And so just kind of bring that down. I might pick up a little bit more because you could see it's kind of dark right here. And just get that going. And about that same point, I'm going to stop because I want that kind of gradient look at the start. Okay? So we're starting to look like some brows here. I'm very proud. I'm very pleased. Okay, let it down. And this one's a little thick, so that would just kind of whip her into shape. Okay. So I'm not gonna go much further into that. The next thing that I do is now the framework. So this is the Pro Pencil. I use base 2. Ooh, boom. Okay. And just really try and focus on the line. Now, for me, it's easier just so I don't mess this up, which I tend to do. And it's okay if you do, because again, we have everything we need in front of us to make this right. Okay. But, yep. Yep. Underline my brows with that. As you can see, I go from the back forward for a little more control, and then down, and do my best to follow along that line. Okay. And the pencil's really super soft. It's super duper soft, which is nice. And then I just try and take that, brush it down, brush it through, just so it kind of cleans up that edge. And then when we move on to the eyes, you'll see, because I do have a concealer that I like to use for my base. So because what I've learned and what I've seen thus far is that when you have that melanin, trying to get some of these colors to pop can be a little bit challenging, but when you use the right base, you can make a lot of things possible. Okay, so I'm just going back in a little bit here with my dip brow. I didn't really pick up anything else just because I don't want to create kind of a harsh line after we just cleaned everything up. I just like to go in to kind of move some of that back through, so that way there is still a clear delineation between what is my lid, what is my brow, etc. Okay, and now here we are. We're going to go back to the other side here and kind of deploy the same techniques and get this rolling here. Okay. Now this one I can already tell I'm going to have to do a little bit of more structure with my brow, because it's getting a little too thin within the arch. And, listen, it happens. Stuff happens. The beauty of this is whatever look you have in your mind, don't get discouraged when you get to a place where it's just like, oh, it's not working. This isn't what I wanted. This isn't what I started out doing. Don't stress yourself. Makeup is supposed to be fun. For me, it is extremely therapeutic. I love making new looks. I love doing different fresh things. And you never know, your mistake could be the difference between something totally innovative and kind of looking like everybody else. So I think that is as much as I want to do under the brow. Let me just make sure. Let me look in here. This one actually didn't turn out as kind of wonky as I was anticipating. Also, forgive me because I don't have my glasses. So what we're looking at and what we're achieving today, just girl, it is what it is. This is what we're rocking with. Now for the top part, because that base too is a little, as you can see, it's fairly light. So I have this other product, and this is a Conceal, Cover, and Correct Crayon in Toffee. This is by Trestique. Cute. And it's magnetic, see? Boom. Anyway, this one doesn't have that fine point. It's a little bit rounded. So with this one, I have to be a little bit careful of the placement. But I go over the top and down to kind of seal in what we've done. You see that? So now it's like cut a chick sharp, which I like. Not the cutting part, the sharp part. Okay? And same technique is deployed below. We're going to brush up now and out and kind of get that blended out. Okay. Now I can already tell I kind of have more of a tail on this side. And I tend to prefer that. I like a nice full shape, so we'll see if we can't get that going for the other side. And then my most favorite tool to get that doing what we need to do. Okay, and same thing over here. Here we go. So you know, I didn't always used to do my brows. You should see pictures of me when I, you know, kind of first started wearing makeup after I was allowed, of course, Mom. But yeah, in my early 20s, just trying to like figure out what I liked, which ended up being like, you know, in my early 20s, this was just into the 2000s, mid 2000s, somewhere around there. And, you know, I was still rocking that like silvery shadow, the bright whatever. Then it was still, we were still kind of in that no brow population. We hadn't really come around to like embracing the brow. Yeah, and as I'm talking, I can see where it's kind of needs to be a little extended on this side, but this is pretty simple. Just bring it down. And now. Yeah. All right. That works for me. It's a little bit more sharp on this side than it is on the other side. But again, we're not striving for perfection. We're striving for satisfaction. Totally different concepts. Okay. So now that I'm just checking my mirror here, I'm pretty pleased with what we've achieved so far. So now that we've got her in the bag, let's move on then to the gel. So I have a couple here that I use. I do have the NYX Control Freak, but today we're gonna go in with the $1 billion brow gel. Okay, and this, because I've cracked the lid, I just have kind of the nub to work with, but anyway, take that out, wipe off the excess, and I just kind of get some strokes in here. And the reason being is because if you can see over here where there's not like a whole lot, you could see where I've drawn on my brow, but through this side, it lifts that hair and it puts it into place, but it keeps it looking a little bit more natural as this brow is gonna get anyway. And same on the other side, just brush it up. Now you can already see, like I said, I have these dry patches and I've got one right there that's gonna try and come in and claim the day, but you know what? I'm gonna worry about her. I'm gonna let her do what she do. Okay. All right. Ta-da! Brows. Okay, so let me put my brow stuff away. Wipe always the top of this, get rid of the excess, so that way we can brow another day. Okay. So before, of course, I started this, I didn't settle on an eye look. So I guess we're gonna wing it. No pun intended. Let me get my concealer out because we need to formulate that base first. I know some people do pot concealer, some people don't. I like to use this, it's by NYX, it's the HD Studio Photogenic, concealer, and the color that I've used, it's 00. I believe the name on this one was Alabaster, if I'm not mistaken. And I just start by getting this all over the brow, or the eye. Thank God we're doing makeup and not anatomy, because I would have had you feeling. Just kind of get this loosely applied here. We're going to go back in and really get it around, but just to get it kind of on the brow. And I kind of go in with my fingers and kind of make sure that I'm covering everything where I would like to put shadows, because, you know, I don't know about you, but I am really about, you know, some punchy colors. And you know, I always used to wonder, like, what's wrong with me? Like, why do these colors, I mean, and I'm not talking like recent day, I'm talking like when I first started out. I was like, why can't I wear some of these colors that, you know, other people are wearing? Like, I want my looks to look like their looks too. I want to wear fun, hot pink colors. I want to wear the brightest of blues, the brightest of greens. I want to wear it all. And, you know, have the ability to do so, but I just did not know what to do to achieve that. And, you know, it can be kind of damaging. It's like, you know, I don't, you know, just because I have brown skin doesn't mean I am excluded from, like, living, you know, my wildest makeup dreams, you know. And, you know, so now that I picked up this and I started using this as a trick, it makes things so much better. It really, really does. Really, really does. So now that I've got that on, I am going to take a little bit of setting powder to set it. Pardon me while I just knock stuff off of my dresser here, because we're makeshift over here. This isn't some, if you couldn't already tell, some professional studio. We're just kind of making do with what we can make do with. Now, my setting powder for today, Airspun. My girlfriend put me on this. Shout out to Jessica. It's like $6 at the Walmart, something like that. And I just, you know, I just take a little bit on a brush. Nothing fancy. Let that sit there for a moment. And while it's doing that, I've seen people set their brows too. I'm like, look, do you? I've never seen, let's see, I'm trying to think. I saw that maybe like about a month ago. I was like, that is some new stuff. Do you? I am with that. But in the meantime, I want to set the brow. So, like I said, I love a good mist. I got a ton of setting sprays. Right now, we're just going to use the Morphe Matte because, again, you know, I don't need like a gloss shine on my brows. So I'm going to cover up the powder that I just did. Hit that brow. Hit that brow. Okay. Let the dust settle on that bad boy. And, of course, I take samples to kind of fan in my work. And then once that's done, I just kind of brush off whatever else is on there. We're not baking. We're just kind of setting it so that, because it's a liquid concealer, I don't want, you know, stuff to get all smudgy and weird. Alrighty, so, like I said, I don't, I should have had a game plan, but I don't, I'm sorry. But anyhow, I just want to maybe we'll go with, we could do that. So I have this palette that I picked up. It's by BH Cosmetics. This is Trendy in Tokyo. But the packaging was super cute. And of course, like I said, fun colors. I don't have a plan. I'm not going anywhere. It is the middle of, well, it's not the middle of the night, but it is nighttime. And again, I don't have a plan for my day or what I'm doing, but just because I talked about wanting to have, you know, some fun with my makeup, I think we will start with this. So, okay, well, I guess we can start with Emoji. This one, actually, you know what? Let's start with Blossom. We'll build with Blossom. It's a nice, cute little light pink here. And, just, you know, I don't know about you. I've got a ton of brushes, either through impulse purchases, which is like all of them, or makeup subscription services, whatever. But anyway, we're going to pick up a little bit of Blossom on our brushes. And the other thing with, and you know, along with the bright colors, the light ones are really hard to pick up unless you have, you know, kind of that foundation. But anyway, I like to take a nice fluffy brush and just kind of work that through the crease. This just kind of gives us that nice like color setting that we're looking for. By the way, if you see me kind of moving my brush off camera, that's just me picking up a little bit more. BH Cosmetics, let's talk a little bit here. I love their color schemes. I love their price points. I feel like they have really embraced trying to get, you know, cute, cool products to people at affordable prices so we can all kind of have that attainable look that we want. All of their packaging is cute. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but the first time I kind of tuned into BH Cosmetics was that palette that they had, Take Me to Rio or Take Me Back to Rio. Fire. Love those colors. I will say this though, pigment wise, the colors are pretty. Maybe it's because of my, you know, evolving set of skills that maybe I haven't been able to get the pigment payoff that I'm looking for. I'm not going to put that all on the formula because, girl, listen, I'm not new to using makeup, but all of my skill sets are evolutionary. They're evolving. Every time I see something new, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to try it. Okay, so now that we have the Blossom kind of where we want, you can see it's got that nice like kiss of light pink all over. I'm going to now take a smaller brush, still fluffy, and go kind of over part of that just to about the halfway point with, I'm sorry, Emoji, which is this matte pink here. Okay. All right, so we're gonna kind of brush this into our midline, right into the crease, right to about the middle here. Okay. And that's just to give it a little bit more depth, make it a little bit punchier. I am also going to take some of this and bring it down. I'm going to do another color that's a little bit darker than these two, and kind of a different shade range to really like create a nice, I don't know, maybe like a smoke, if you will. But I like to bring that down because now we're starting to create a shape in the eye. because you can see from, you know, here to here where we just kind of have that framework. And then this one is kind of pulling it together. Okay. So again, just kind of working this into the crease, into about the midway point, just to give it that nice, like, punch. And bringing it down. Okay. All right. So I think from here, I'm gonna hit it with a little bit of purple just cause. So, let me see, I need to get a little bit more going over here, and then once I get the purple on, that's when I'm gonna start to kind of blend some of this out, because I know some of you are like, girl, are you skipping a step? Are you forgetting something? Honey, I'm doing me. You don't have to. I am doing me. Okay. All right. That's good enough for me, girl. Okay, so I'm going to take my pan cleaner because I want to use the same brush. These you can pick up anywhere online. This is by Ms. Deer, but I think I got this one from Ulta, if I'm not mistaken. I'm just kind of rubbing that color off, rubbing out the emoji, and now we're gonna get in with our darker color here. So next I'm gonna use this color Kyoto, which is a super luxurious purple. I'm not trying to pick up too much because I don't want this to get real messy, but this I'm going to tap into the corner because I don't want it to go too far. I really want it to just stay right in this corner. I'm going to go a little bit above and a little bit down, but I want to keep it in that corner, and you can kind of see where it's deepening what we're doing here. Okay. I'm going to pick up just a little bit more and just deepen that a little further. Okay. And again, on this side, I tap, tap, tap. Nothing too crazy. Okay. Just take a peek. I think I'm going to get a little bit more on this side. Just tapping it right in. Now, I've left the center of my lid blank for a reason. Because you see a lot of people do, you know, they'll hit that cut crease and get all that going. I'm not doing that. I said what I said. I'm not doing that. I'm just going to put the color that I want on top and call it a day. I don't think we're going to pull out of this pan because, as you can see, we've got a lot of mid-tone sparkly shades. So there's the shade Anime. I don't want to do that. I want to stick with something a little bit lighter, but with a lot more punch. A lot of cool colors, but I think we're going to put this off to the side until we get ready to do the under eye, and then we'll pick up some more of those colors. So now finding another palette that's going to have what we want. Not that one. Thanks for your patience. Not that one. I would love to do this one, but it's kind of picking up more golds and corals than what I want, but shout out to ColourPop for that. Let's see. Maybe we could do some... okay, we have some potential here. This is by Too Faced. This is the Papaya Pop. This shade looks pretty promising. I'm going to keep digging. If I don't find anything else, that's the one we're going to do. Because it's chunky, it's vibrant. I want something kind of in that pinkish color family, something that's not going to clash too hard with the purple. Love the Warrior palette, but no sparkle. That's okay. Let's try the next one. Ooh, you know what? This might have it. Sorry, Too Faced. Hello. Morphe. Morphe has done a couple of the crossovers with Jaclyn Hill. And then this one in particular, and excuse me while I clean it up a little bit because it's messy. Oof, it's messy. Because I've been digging into it. But anyway, this one is Bling Boss, and this one has a lot of those same color schemes. So I think we're just going to go in with this. It's a toss-up between Ballsy and Bling Bling. I think Bling Bling will save for the corner. But anyway, what I do in order to apply like the sparkly shade that I want in the middle, I take a flat brush and just kind of in a circular motion pick up the shade that I want. And again, this is the same tapping technique. I just tap it all over the area that I want. I usually like to take it from the corner and bring it in. And then if need be, you know, I can always go back in, you know, with the shades in the corner and the outside to kind of bring that together. Let me just put another layer atop. And then if you have, you know, some chunky glitter that you like to add to your look, you can do that. But, you know, I just love a nice pop of sparkle in the center. And I did choose, I'm sorry, I don't know that I said it, but I chose the shade Ballsy to go in the center here. So we're just about all set for the first part of our eye look. Now, I save my liner for last, but I wanted to show you, and I think I've probably ruined that by now. I have this new, and I don't know if you guys have been, there's been a lot of like changes in the lash trend. As far as like, you know, we've gone from like the strip glue, we've done instead of the strip lashes, like the little individuals, you could add the extensions to your individual lash there too. Lash groups of 3, whatever. The magnetic trend. This one I found is the lash liner, which is actually the glue itself in the liner. When I tell you, I'm going to see if it works because the directions, you're supposed to put this on the plain lid. You're not supposed to have any shadow on. Oops. Anyway, we'll see if it works. Hopefully it does. Fingers crossed it does, because I love this. I love this. My lashes, I put that little sucker on and put the lash on, and it was a breeze. It did not take me any time at all. Please avoid, if you are the kind of person that stabs yourself in the eye all the time, please be careful. I am that person every now and again. Depends on how sleepy, awake, whatever I am. But this is the truth. This one's by Kiss Cosmetics, but swear by it. Okay, moving on. Let me just kind of see where we're at. I'm pretty pleased. I think I want to, though, like I said, kind of go back in just to make sure that everything is set the way that it should. So I am pulling that pink shade Emoji and just kind of going over a little bit. And I'm going to do that on this other side here, just to make sure that, everything's kind of sealed and ready to go. Okay. And now I'm going to take that shade Kyoto again and just kind of tap it back. Okay. So now, boom. I think we are making plenty progress. All right. That's, I think, as much as I'm willing to do on that. Yeah. I think my Kyoto's a little bit darker on that other side. Maybe we'll tap in just a little bit more, and then we'll get rolling on the next step here. Okay. So now that that's set, let's talk about the face. While we talk about that, I'm going to put a little bit of moisture on my lips because they are dry and I have not done literally anything to them in the longest. So, okay. If you're wondering, this is baby lips. As far as the lip stuff goes, as long as it's not drying me out, I don't care. I'll put it on. Okay. So next we want to focus on the face. Always want to start with a good primer. I am going to use some setting spray though to set the look and to rehydrate my face. In this case, I am going to use, let me show you which one you want to work with me. I will use the NYX Slay the Season Matte Finish Spray, and just get that going. Woo! Like I said, I love a good spritz. I love a good spray. This is going to rehydrate the face, so when we go to put that primer on, everything is just going to go smoothly. Now, I don't know if you guys have been watching Michaela. She is blowing up. I mean, I love her realness. I love the looks that she does. I've been, I first saw her on TikTok, and there were a lot of people who had a lot to, but just as I'm saying to you guys, she does not let that stop her from creating the looks that she wants to create. She does not let that stop her from just pushing to just do her. Everybody deserves their own slice of happiness. I don't feel like anybody has the right to use their words to make you feel some sort of way about yourself. You do you, love you, do what makes you happy, as long as it's not stepping on anybody else or hurting anybody else. Do you. Okay. So now that that is set, as you can see, my skin's like, oh, it's time to get moisturized. Okay. So the next step, I was actually watching some of her videos, and she was, I guess, going over some of her, Michaela, by the way, this is who I'm still talking about, her routines as far as priming the face. So she recommended a product, which I will recommend to you as well, from The Ordinary, the hyaluronic acid. This, don't be scared by the name. This hyaluronic acid is used in a lot of moisturizing products for some of the really great properties that it has. This, as you can see, is a product. It's a product that moves. It is super hydrating. It's going to give your skin the moisture that it needs, and also help when you're building your face to have that extra kind of layer for the makeup to just kind of smooth out across. Now she also mentioned another step. There's a the Ordinary High Adherent Silicone Primer. That one I don't want to use today. Today I actually want to use my Porefessional. It's really, really good. Oh my gosh. So as you can see, I've got a lot of impurities and imperfections. I am a picker that has a lot to do with some other stuff going on for me personally, but I digress. I want to cover that sucker up. I want to cover all of my little sins. The Porefessional is really, really good. It's a great base for anybody that has those little like imperfections. Even if if your issues like enlarged pores, which there are a lot of people who suffer with that. Me on my nose, my pores tend to get a little bit large, but this helps to create that nice, smooth, blurred look. So I am pretty pleased. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's so smooth. It's not, you know, it's not super cakey. It's not stagnant. It is malleable.